Many seem stunned to hear that Target, a company many regarded highly as an accepting and inclusive company by all outward signs that led with those values, was ending all of their DEI initiatives and promises right on the heels of a years-long coordinated attack on DEI that we first saw in the public sector as a result of a flurry of executive orders that has led to hundreds of government employees being seemingly targeted for participating in DEI programs and offices being put on administrative leave or outrightly fired with the change of administration that we now see in the private sector, with companies like Target announcing that they are also ending their DEI initiatives. Many seemed confused Target was ending their DEI program as there was no reason given. However, I think I found the reason why. Aloha, beautiful humans. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome back if we've been locked in. This is another faceless kind of podcast style video. And today we're going to talk about why Target ended their DEI initiatives, specifically their REACH program, which stands for Racial Equity Action and Change, which was a committee, as stated by the CEO, that would focus specifically on how Target can drive lasting impact for their Black team members and guests. In the memo announcing the REACH committee, the CEO wrote that to determine where to focus, we've spent time with many of you, spoken with our guests, reviewed research, and tapped into our partners to align around 4 areas of focus: team, guests, communities, and civic engagement and public policy. This initiative came out of the 2020 George Floyd protests and was always a 3-year program that was set to end in 2025. However, Target choosing not to renew or extend the program, instead going in a completely different direction, saying that they had met their goals, but not really providing any conclusive material or numbers to state how they exactly met those goals or what the numbers were. This announcement garnered the company a lot of feedback, with many online promising to boycott. Now, like I said, this program was always slated to be 3 years long, so I was not necessarily surprised that they were ending the program. If anything, for me, I was more confused by the timing, as well as why Target would choose to end the initiative altogether rather than extending it or even sharing what the outcome was from the REACH program and initiative. They didn't really share any numbers, and I personally wanted to know how they measured success. If anything, I was more confused about the timing, and it is entirely possible we finally have an answer to explain why. Back in 2023, this was not widely reported. However, Target was sued by America First Legal, which was founded by Stephen Miller, who is now a Trump administration policy advisor. This lawsuit was filed on behalf of shareholder Brian Craig. Craig's lawsuit claimed that Target and its board of directors betrayed both Target's core customer base of working families and its investors by making false and misleading statements concerning Target's environmental, social, and governance, as well as diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI mandates that led to its disastrous 2023 children and family themed LGBTQ+ Pride campaign. The lawsuit then goes on to say that these false and misleading statements caused Target shareholders to unknowingly support Target's board and management in their misuse of investor funds to serve its divisive political and social goals, and ultimately lose billions. So as always, follow the dollar signs, because it's all about the money. It's all about the Benjamins. If you remember, there was a lot of backlash when Target unleashed their children and family themed LGBTQ+ Pride campaign. Now, this is a campaign Target had been doing for years prior to that. However, I think what really incensed people, if I remember from that time, what people were complaining about was the bathing suits that had a tuck function that seemed to really frustrate and annoy a lot of people. And Target was on the receiving end of a lot of backlash. And as a result, in 2024, Target pulled back a lot on their Pride campaign, which put them in hot water with the LGBTQIA+ community. The lawsuit then goes on to say that Target and members of its board of directors hereby referred to as board, have violated Section 14A of the Exchange Act, causing Target to issue proxy statements that falsely and misleadingly stated that Target's board and its committees oversaw social and political issues and risks arising from Target's pursuit of ESG and DEI mandates, adopted Target's ESG and DEI mandates in order to advance shareholders' pecuniary interests in the value of Target stock, and proposed executive compensation plans that were aligned with shareholders' pecuniary interests in the value of Target stocks. So basically, y'all played in our faces, you played with our money, and you lost us money, billions of dollars, allegedly. I'm not going to sit here and read you the entire lawsuit, but I am pulling out the parts that I think are important for the purposes of the video. If you would like to read the entire lawsuit, I'm going to link it in the comments. But the suit goes on to say that Target portrays itself as a store of working families, but as Target's formerly loyal customer base now recognizes, Target's board and management for years spent Target's valuable financial and reputational capital on the pursuit of ESG, that again stands for environmental, social, and governance, and DEI mandates, diversity, equity, inclusion mandates behind the facade of Target's classic middle-class brand, all the while falsely and misleadingly portraying the risks of its strategy to Target shareholders in order to secure its re-election and insulate itself from accountability. Y'all played around with our money, and the bill came due in May of 2023 when Target faced an unprecedented customer backlash to a campaign Target undertook as a result of those ESG and DEI initiatives. According to the lawsuit, this now infamous children and family themed LGBT pride marketing and sales campaign, which embroiled Target in the culture war and caused Target to experience the biggest stock decline in the company's history, costing investors billions. Now let's talk about the timing. This lawsuit, the first lawsuit filed by shareholder Brian Craig, that was filed in August of 2023. On January 24th, Target announced that they were ending their REACH campaign committee and program. On January 31st, another lawsuit, this time a class action lawsuit, was filed on behalf of the City of Riviera Beach Police Pension Fund in Florida, claiming Target defrauded investors by issuing, quote, false and misleading, unquote, statements concerning actions supporting the company's diversity, equity, and inclusion mandates, and more broadly, its environmental, social, and governance, that ESG again. The suit alleges that by failing to warn investors of the ESG and DEI risks, its stock price was artificially inflated and board members secured re-election, which caused additional damages. So basically they were saying, you misrepresented what these programs were actually about. We invested in you. Y'all hid this from us in order to solidify your spots on this board. And these programs, the true meaning of what you hid that did not come to light until this pride campaign, it cost us additional damages. That's how I'm reading the lawsuit. That's how I understand it. And this lawsuit covers those. This is a class action lawsuit, and it covers those who acquired Target common stock between August of 2022 and November of 2024, August 26th of 2022 and November 19th of 2024 specifically. The suit essentially alleges that Target defrauded investors by hiding the customer backlash and not advising them of the risks to earnings from DEI policies. In effect, the plaintiffs are essentially saying that Target misused their investor funds to serve political and social goals. Now, the same company, America First Legal, who is representing Brian Craig, who filed the first lawsuit, they are also representing the City of Riviera Beach Club Police Pension Fund. Wow, say that 5 times fast. They are also representing them in this lawsuit. Now, it's very interesting to me that they're trying to claim that Target hid this backlash, because I don't know if they were under a rock, but I remember distinctly anyways, the backlash from people who were, quote, so sick of this woke PC culture and to keep kids away from this kind of stuff because kids know nothing about sexuality. I remember the backlash in 2023. And then I also remember the backlash from some people in the LGBTQIA plus community who felt betrayed by Target for pulling back a lot of their Pride collections and campaigns in stores as a result of threats. People were threatening Target, and Target was like, hey, we don't know what these people might do. So to protect our employees, we're going to kind of scale back on the Pride campaign and merchandise in some of these stores. And there were some people from the LGBTQIA plus community that were offended by that felt very betrayed by Target. So if these people who acquired this Target stock between August of 2022 and November 2024 to say that Target misled them and hid the backlash, either you don't watch the news or you were just letting somebody in some portfolio manage your money, invest in your money. When you became aware that your money was being invested in Target, you're like, hold on, pump the brakes. Like, I personally think that's what it is, but that's neither here nor there. Target attempted to have the case dismissed or moved to Minnesota because both cases were filed in Florida. So they were trying to get the case to move to Minnesota. However, the presiding judge denied both of those requests. So this backlash is very interesting to me, and it is in line with a common phrase I've been seeing over the past maybe 2 or 3 years: go woke, go broke, which I truly hate so much. I hate this phrase for multiple reasons, but many have used this phrase to target and describe businesses who lose money or face backlash and boycott for policies they deride as, quote, woke, unquote. When I think about woke companies, I'm not even going to say that. I'm not going to even use that word in a pejorative manner, because just like DEI, that word actually means something. That the phrase DEI actually means something, and it has been co-opted by conservatives of a certain mentality and right-wing media and has become a slur. So the meaning of the word, however, has been stripped of its actual meaning. So I'm not going to use the phrase woke in a pejorative manner, because in my personal opinion, being woke is not a bad thing. And then also it's very frustrating that within the Black community, it means something entirely. So it's like people take slang terms, and when it goes mainstream, it loses all meaning and just becomes a very annoying term. But yeah, back to Target. The second lawsuit, the class action lawsuit, maintains that Target embraced a radical transgender agenda targeting children and families through the corporation's infamous 2023 Pride campaign, which America Legal, who again filed the first lawsuit, they said this in a statement, adding that the backlash has led to billions in losses. Now, I haven't seen a statement. I looked through the lawsuit. I haven't seen any attachments or statement projecting and showing these actual losses. So maybe they will be provided, or they will be made public, but time will tell. The lawsuit accused Target's board of directors of only focusing on its ESG and DEI initiatives, and that its Pride campaign overlooked the risk of negative backlash, ultimately leading the company to lose over $25 billion in market capitalization. I gotta say it for the video, okay? I gotta say it for the video. So, but know in my heart and in my mind, I do not align with this at all. I do not believe in this. This is BS, and we'll just keep it moving. Okay, Target is not the only company lately that has suffered the same fate as a result of, quote, go woke, go broke, unquote, politics, with Budweiser facing the same backlash for one of their campaigns, as well as Disney, which allegedly lost subscribers to its streaming platform Disney Plus. Now, experts say that these losses can't be solely attributed to the boycotts, and that they could stem from other causes, such as companies responding to the boycotts. So the manner in which they respond can either make the backlash better or worse. And that's kind of what we're seeing with Costco, right? Because Costco is saying, hey, we're going to keep our DEI programs going. We are not going to give in to this hate and this fear. Now, a lot of people are saying that they are going to shop at Costco. They're going to get memberships. And I would be very interested to see at the end of the quarter if they saw a rise in revenue and how much, how many people ended up buying memberships and shopping at Costco as a result of the backlash that Target is now on the receiving end of. And also Walmart, I think, is receiving some backlash because they are ending their DEI programs as well. But if you were surprised by that, you haven't been paying attention, because Walmart is the ghetto and they've been treating their employees like trash for a very long time. Like, there are so many Walmart employees out there who are employed but are actively on welfare, who are on food stamps. Walmart be cutting their hours, allegedly. Don't come for me, Walmart. But Walmart will be making it so that they're only giving them 37 or 38 hours so they can't declare themselves as full-time employees. Yeah, Walmart is a mess. So I was not surprised at all when Walmart said that they were ending their DEI program. If anything, I was actually surprised that Walmart had a DEI program at all. But I digress. So experts were saying, in response to the whole Disney Plus backlash, allegedly the backlash and the boycotts, some people said that, you know, it could really depend on how the companies respond, or the CEOs or representatives of the company. Then there's the fact that some movies that were being housed on Disney Plus and said to be, quote, woke, unquote, have actually gone on to gain financial success. For example, Greta Gerwig's The Barbie movie, which, by the way, I actually need to sit down and watch. I have not watched the Barbie movie from start to finish. Like, when we were on where were we going to? I think we were either going to South Africa or the Maldives. I can't remember, but Snowbay was watching the movie and I was kind of peeking over the divider to kind of see, like, to watch it with him, and then I fell asleep. So I don't know. But anyways, I've seen bits and pieces of the Barbie movie. I've not seen the entire thing. I know I need to sit down and watch it, but any movie that's longer than like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours nowadays, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. But anyways, yeah, so there are some movies that have been derided as, quote, woke, unquote, that are being housed on Disney Plus that have actually gone on to see a lot of financial success. But there are some movies, allegedly, that are also woke. You know, the Marvels, that was released to a low box office for Marvel. So it really could go either way. When it comes to Captain Marvel, is it Captain Marvel or Marvel? I don't know. I'm going to call her Captain Marvel. When it comes to Captain Marvel, I remember when that movie came out, I was so excited to support it. But all of these, you know, fan bros, comic book bros, they, of course, had negative things to say. And they were like, oh, the movie is too woke and da-da-da-da, and she shouldn't be the strongest person in the multiverse. I was just like, oh my God, I was over it. But anyways, I digress. I really go back and forth with using the word, quote, woke, unquote. I actually really hate it so much. And I hate it so much because, like I said, it has been co-opted by right-wing media and conservatives and stripped of its meaning and turned into a pejorative. Just like I said in my video about DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, it has been a phrase that has all of a sudden been co-opted by right-wing media, by conservatives, to become a pejorative thing, to become a nasty thing, to become like a cuss word and a negative slang term, being stripped of what it actually means. It's really frustrating that terms that are used to describe or anything that is thought to align with Black people or racial equality, these people are basically taking this phrase and using it as basically another way to say the N-word without saying it. And I'm just like really disgusted by that. I'm really frustrated that mainstream media and the left wing, you know, the liberal media, they don't call this out. They play into it because they're always on defense. And I talked about that in another video that I did. The video was DEI is not discrimination. If you're interested in that video, I'll also drop that down in the comments or in the links below. Go ahead and give that a watch. But anyways, yeah, what does the phrase woke even mean? The word woke was originally a slang term to describe increased awareness for racial injustice, which makes the context in which the word is being used nowadays disgusting and very offensive. It has been adopted by various right-wing groups to smear and label opposing ideas and their opponents as something negative and distasteful. When I first saw it being used a lot, it was used to deride, dismiss, and diminish racial inequality, racial injustice, racism, discrimination. And yes, while some individuals and groups, particularly in certain factions of the American right, while it's used basically in a negative manner against Black people or having anything to do with racism, the term has now been used as a catch-all of anything that they believe falls under the social justice umbrella. It has now been employed to describe a wide range of issues, ranging from even climate change. Climate change, of all things, is now woke. You know, it's actually crazy to me. It's equal parts crazy and and annoying. And I've given my opinion throughout this video. And while I do try to strike a good balance between informational videos and opinion-based videos, this is my page, so I'll say what I want. And it is just really upsetting to me that a phrase that was used to bring light to racial inequality and to show that someone is aware of this inequality and what has been happening in this country for, I don't know, centuries, it has now been turned around and used to shame and even threaten people for simply trying to address the problems of racial inequality, climate change, and other ills that are going on in our society. To address and bring light to these issues is to be woke, and to be woke is now a bad thing. It is insanity. It is insanity, and mainstream media needs to stop feeding into this. So yeah, I honestly think the reason why Target ended their REACH program as well as their initiatives on addressing climate change and how they're going to be contributing to the climate change effort and other social justice issues, it's always about the money. At the end of the day, Target is a business, and like any other business, their goal is to generate and create revenue. They are not trying to deal with these lawsuits, okay? And these lawsuits are in Florida, so whoo, child, good luck to Target. There are stakeholders that they are answering to and are held accountable to. And if where we're going as a society is any indicator, both economically and socio-politically, they are not going to want to do anything to threaten that bottom line. And I imagine other businesses will continue to fall in line. It's unfortunate though, because Target is a company that in the past few years has given a lot of opportunities to so many people from different minority groups that otherwise would not have been in those positions, or maybe not have had the opportunities to be in such a widely recognized store. Target has given opportunities to women-owned businesses, small businesses, Black-owned businesses, and particular Black women-owned businesses, and Black women entrepreneurs receive just 0.34% of venture capital funding, a disproportionately and shockingly minute share, despite the fact that it is already disproportionately, shockingly tiny 0.3% of venture capital funding that Black women entrepreneurs receive. That is actually somehow declining, despite the venture capital industry being worth billions. Per usual, and this is the most frustrating part as a Black woman, per usual, the group that will be most impacted in this country by everything that continues to happen is Black women. Go figure. As far as the backlash goes, people were calling to boycott Target when they said that they were ending their DEI program and initiative. However, there were some people saying that they will be shopping at Target again. So honestly, it remains to be seen what the magnitude or what the fallout will be. I'm very curious to see at the end of the day what the fallout will be, if any at all. But you know, honestly, people have short attention spans, and we live in a culture of comfort. So even though people are saying they're going to boycott Target, I don't necessarily believe it, but that's just my opinion. Drop down in the comments. Let me know what you think, what your thoughts are. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, peace out.